I sure don't want anyone to think I'm too big for my britches, so I always make sure I hold back a little. You know, no one wants to be around a braggart, and humility is a virtue. No, I don't go into situations shining brightly. I sure as heck don't want to call attention to myself. Sure, I'd like to have more, but I know I have to be satisfied with what I have. Gratitude and all that good stuff, right? I just don't understand why it feels so cruddy to be me. I mean, I'm okay, but I was always hoping for something more. Being humble can certainly be a bitter pill to swallow. Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, here with you on Angel Heart Radio. And if you are feeling disgruntled, stay with me because when we come back, we're going to examine humility and the false belief system that says humble is pretending you're nothing.
Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools for transformation, positivity, joy, and hope. They should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio, where we celebrate you. We celebrate your divine connection. We celebrate your magnificence. We celebrate you as a beautiful being here on planet Earth, sharing your love and your light. We are so blessed to have amazing hosts here on Angel Heart Radio. We fan your seeds of hope and we help you to plant more. AngelHeartRadio.com is our station and AngelLight777.com is our big sister. All the links, the series, host information, how to visit us, and really how to receive the best from Angel Heart Radio, and a whole lot more besides. Thank you for choosing to be with us on Angel Heart Radio. We're so grateful to share with you. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com.
Alrighty, so before we get into really being fabulous, we need to acknowledge the fact of where we are. So right now, August 8th, was the Lion's Gate portal, and I need to explain to you what that means because absolutely no one was immune to this. So if you are feeling a little uncertain, a little wobbly in your spiritual walk, or you're just feeling frightened and insecure, know that when we have heavy energetic periods like this, and Lion's Gate is something that happens every year, every August 8th, and it is an opportunity for a huge influx of pure, positive, loving energy to flood the planet. Now, what happens when we have these periods, like the full moon or the solstice or Lion's Gate, is that the Earth actually moves closer to the energetic realm, and so it is easier for everyone to feel the incredible outpouring of loving energy. But, as you know, love and fear cannot coexist. So if you have secretly been harboring, and we all do, so please don't go immediately to, oh, I'm so stupid or so bad at this spiritual understanding or awakening stuff. No, we all have shadow sides of ourselves. We all have things that we're working on, that we're growing on, that we are growing more incredibly available to the love aspects of ourselves that we don't see as perfect, even though they are perfect for where we are right now, across the board. I don't care if yesterday you were an axe murderer. You were perfect for where you were at that time. So let it go. If today you wake up and discover, hey, that really didn't feel good. I don't want to be an axe murderer anymore. I want to discover how I can put more love in my life. then you are no longer perfect for yesterday, but you're not in yesterday. So hallelujah, we can just let it go. Yesterday is never going to come again, no matter how many times we go back and revisit it. So we can just let it go. So back to this Lionsgate portal that has opened. This incredibly beautiful energy of love is pouring forth, and it's an opportunity to go into the darker aspects of ourselves, those places where we feel that we're not measuring up, and let it go. It is an opportunity this year to really look at your personal expression. And you may have heard that it's aligned with the star Sirius. And this is true. The Lionsgate actually dates all the way back to the Egyptian times. The star Sirius is called the spiritual sun because it's so bright and it has such intense energy. So this is the time when that star is lined up. You may see that in the sky. And it is the time when this energy can come forth in even greater intensity. And this year, it is giving you an opportunity to look at your personal expression in the world. How are you conducting your life? We don't care and cannot concern ourselves with how other people are conducting their lives. Just be on your journey of transformation. This is your opportunity to express your divine self. But we have to remember that your divine self or your authentic self is only love. So you might feel out of sorts if you're butting up against fear or negativity or judgment. Even melancholy may come up for you. These are places where you are out of balance. You have stepped into the darkness and away from that loving connection with the divine. It's okay. Let it come up so that you can see, gosh, this is something I need to work on. Do the work to release and step back into being fabulous. So let's just get used to thinking of this period of time when it's easier to access the energetic realm as an opportunity to connect with your authentic self. Not to judge, not to blame, not to shame, just to remember you are only love. There is no fear, and you are united. You are one with all there is and all that is. So an easy way to tell when we're in alignment or out of alignment, when we're acting with God or when we're acting with the ego, is to realize that when we act in line with the ego, you can be fooled into believing that you aren't enough or that you should be fearful, that there's something that's going to come up that is going to cause you an incredible amount of pain or trauma or confusion. And that you, if you're ego attached, will believe these untruths are really your truth, that you really don't have any power. And what comes next? Well, hello to false humility. At least I shouldn't say we, I don't know what you were taught. I was certainly taught from the church upbringing that I had, and I am not bashing religion. I am simply relating what my experience was. There are wonderful, wonderful strengths to religion. However, there are weaknesses, and we need to uncover the weaknesses so that you can get the strength and not the shame. False humility, or I was told from the church that you needed to walk humbly on the earth. And the way they interpreted that humility is, recognize you're really not that great. and be here as a servant. You really don't have that much to offer. Okay, I get that they believed that they were giving wonderful advice so that you wouldn't get above yourself. But that is not true humility. And the reason that I know this, and I'm going to show this to you so that you can make your own judgment about this, is because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to say to myself, you're really nothing and you have nothing to offer the world. That is not my warm and fuzzy place. And living in a state of false humility made me and everyone who is in this place believe that shining brightly is sinful, bad, disrespectful, and bragging. However, we don't want to walk in line with the ego. We want to walk in line with the divine. And when we do, we can say, I am content to shine and allow my words and actions to speak for themselves. I am going to shine as brightly as I can in every moment of every day and be in service to the world by offering all that I am. And I don't need to tell everybody, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at all that I am doing. My actions will speak for themselves. The way that I choose to share my knowledge will speak for itself. And I will receive from the divine everything that I desire and require in order to stay in this place of shining brightly. In return, it is not a position of penury. I know that when I was growing up, we used to feel badly for the people who were ministers. Oh, they're humble, so they don't deserve much. No, not it's not they didn't deserve, but they don't want much because they're in service to God. Well, that doesn't feel good to me, and I used to feel sorry for them. I didn't know why anyone would want to serve God when it meant that you didn't have much and life was kind of tough. It didn't feel good. So, as always, that made me go on a search. It made me really crazy. Why would God, who says they're loving, tell their ministers, their workers, that they should be nothing? Because it's really difficult to feel more than just okay when you're hiding who you are or you are accepting less than you desire or deserve. So we have to remember that we must pay attention to what we're currently manifesting to understand the contents of the subconscious mind. That's where we're holding on to these dark programs. The heart, remember, rules the subconscious, and it is the largest energetic body, far outstripping the mind by 6,000. What are the two tests? The electroencephalogram and the energetic output is 6,000 times more than the brain's output. Another show, I had the exact numbers, but you'll have to go to Heart Math Institute where I got those numbers. So, when the heart, which is your essence, has been told to sit down and shut up, to be satisfied just being so, you are creating, in essence, quite a great deal of pain because we are social creatures. Our natural impulse is to share. We've all come with a gift. My gift is not the same as yours. Yours is not the same as someone else's. We've all come with something fabulous that we are or that we desire to share with others. So when somebody comes along and tells us, you're really not that great, so just be satisfied with where you are, it hurts. First of all, it's not true. You are magnificent and you are perfect for where you are. So that's untrue, and you are feeling that untruth with part of you. Our natural impulse is to give and to receive good in return. We want to give good. We want to give that which is part of our heart. And we want to receive that which we do not have in return for giving what we do have. But when we're told not to shine, it causes confusion. It causes us to be just standing in a place of, gee, I just don't get it. I don't understand. I want to shine. I want to share. I have this wonderful, valuable information and this gift that I want to give, but people tell me I really shouldn't do that because that's being a braggart and I should be humble. So we begin telling ourselves lies like, maybe I shouldn't be happy. And we begin suppressing, trying not to be noticed, believing that it is our shining that is causing the problem. However, it's the ego that has stepped in there and gotten its nose out of joint. It's fear. It's that lie that says, well, when you're small, you're safe. You are not safe playing small. If anything, you're placing yourself in greater danger. Instead of appeasing the ego, be bold and allow your inner divinity to come shining forth. Think of the ego as a bully. When you stand up to a bully and you say, well, I see who you are and I'm not afraid of you, the bully doesn't have fun harassing you anymore. So when you look at the ego and say, I know who you are and you're really not that powerful or that truthful, and I'm going to shine anyway, you are going to create the most magnificent, fabulous life for yourself. You are going to become the ultimate transformer by shining love into every situation. You will transform your own life. And then you will transform the lives of those around you who are willing to allow that love into their lives. You're going to help yourself and others by demonstrating that absolutely anything is possible. But you have to understand that no matter how brightly you agree to understand, you can never outshine the divine. So it's really impossible when you are walking in line with the divine. It is absolutely impossible to be anything but humble, because you can shine at total megawatt brilliance, and yet you cannot outshine the divine. You can only ever be one candle, whereas they are all the candles. You can only be one sun. They are all the suns. It's impossible to be bigger than God. It's impossible to be more than God. So when you are in line with God, then you are truly humble, because you see all that you are, which is magnificent, but you understand all that they are. And so you automatically experience true humility, not false, I'm nothing humility. The way that we're going to bring about positive world change is only through you. You are so incredibly important in this world that you are a positive force for change. God created it that way. God created a partnership, not because they're not able, but because they believe that this is the perfect way for everyone to become more. So your example of goodness and love will inspire others. However, if you refuse to shine out of false humility, your ability to inspire others will also be lost. Who wants to follow the guy that's hiding in the closet? That doesn't feel good. We want to follow those people that bring us joy, that make us see how magnificent we really are. So, again, back to that place of contradiction and inconsistency. How do I know this? Well, I'm going to go back again to my youth and the teachings that I received at that time. And even though I was not much of a Bible scholar and just went to church because it was expected and then not all the time, I got the impression, and again, I could have misinterpreted what they were saying. So I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying this was my understanding, that Jesus was poverty-stricken, and God wanted me to give money to others in need. And if I were truly following in Jesus' footsteps, I should be delighted to be living on the poverty line. Because a truly humble person, one who loved God and was loved in return, would live only for others. Sound familiar? Well, let's take a deeper look, and let's look at what's incorrect about that statement. When something isn't consistent, it's usually not grounded in truth. So whenever you hear people talking about spirituality and different ways of relating to God, or even a religious take on it, it's not necessarily right or wrong. You need to drop down into your own heart and examine your own feeling about this. Get out that truth meter. Make sure that what they are saying is consistent. So if one day God is loving, the next day God hates you, something might be wrong there. You need to investigate further. So let's take a look at this belief that I thought they were sharing with me, that Jesus was poor. So I did a little searching in my Bible this week, and I discovered actually Jesus was wearing the finest robes. And remember, his feet were washed with the finest oils. He was giving a talk, a sermon one day, and the sermon went on and on and on. And he realized, gosh, the people are hungry. Well, who has lunch here? And apparently only one person had thought to bring a lunch. 3 loaves and fishes. Jesus, who didn't have any false humility and was not under any kind of false belief system, simply took that bread and blessed it, and those fish, and blessed them, and managed to feed everybody that was there with plenty left over. This is not someone who is worried about being in a state of poverty. If you can manifest anything at any time you desire, you clearly are not impoverished. You are accepting what you need at that moment and feeling no need to hoard or to hold on to any more than you might need. Now, there's another example. If those are not enough, Jesus went to a wedding, and halfway through, they ran out of wine. And his mother said, "Well, this is terrible. I want wine." And she went to Jesus and said, "I need you to turn the water into wine." cannot be a celebration with water. So he took the water, turned it into wine. Jesus did not have a poverty consciousness. He was not falsely humble, but he also didn't go around bragging and saying, "Look at me." Instead, his mission when he was here was to show us that wonderful miracles are available if we only understand how to apply the principles. And he demonstrated over and over and over again how to apply the spiritual principles correctly, and then said, "This and even greater things will you do if you follow in my footsteps, if you use the Christ energy that is within your heart." So you can choose to give all of your money away. But how is that in line with God? You can choose to be an indentured servant, to say, "I just never have enough." But how is that in line with your highest good? Jesus also gave us the commandment, love your brother as you love yourself. Well, if you don't love you by allowing yourself to have enough for your own needs and desires, how can you possibly love another? You can't love your brother unless you understand how to love yourself, if that commandment is to be followed. So when we really realize all of the ways in which we are not honoring our God connection, we begin to see the contradictions, and we can let go of the darkness that the ego has placed in our being as a way to challenge us to be even more. Let's take a step away from the ego as bad and look at it and say, you know what? Without these challenges, without these teachers, without these incredible lessons, would I be where I am today? That is the question that you must ask yourself anytime you come up against something and you begin pressing the button of, "This is unfair." I want you to take a step back and realize, hey, I am about to climb into a more intimate relationship with God because I am being challenged by this situation. I have to give up my ego way of thinking, my childish way of thinking, and step into a more mature relationship. Wow, I should be honored because now I realize that the divine sees so much in me that they know I can understand and operate at an even higher level. So when you are in service to God, to the divine, it will uplift everyone involved. It will inspire and motivate everyone, including you. If you find yourself in a situation where you are doing everything for everyone, and they are not honoring you, you're out of alignment, you're living a just okay life, and you're choosing it. Here's where things get really fun. Because you've chosen it, and this is not judgment, I'm not blaming or shaming you, I'm letting you understand your power. Because you've chosen it, and I chose one for 50 years? Maybe 40. Okay, I'll give myself a little break. I chose one for a really long time. Because you chose it, you can simply choose something better. If it was imposed upon you and you had no choice, then you would have no way out, and it would feel really cruddy. But here's the wonderful truth. You chose it. So you can simply choose something better. But remember, when you're choosing Choose to be the brightest light that you can possibly be. You're never going to outshine God. And if you want to inspire others to be their brightest light, you got to be an example that people would want to follow. No one is going to want to follow in your footsteps when you preach poverty and servitude. Heck, when they were telling me, be small, shut your light down, give away all your money, I was running for cover. The last thing I wanted was an intimate relationship with the divine. Now, how they justified don't hide your light under a bushel and then, well, don't shine too brightly, I don't know. I wasn't in their mind. I may have misunderstood everything they're saying. I don't know. But it very clearly says, don't hide your light under a bushel. Shine your brightest, shine your brightest, shine your brightest. Encourage others to shine their brightest. It never says, hide in the dark because you don't want to offend God. God created you. God loves you. God sees your magnificence. And you cannot outshine them. Remember, you are one candle. They are all the candles. Sorry, but you're never going to be able to outshine them. So it's okay to shine as bright as you can. When we look at the life of Jesus, the life that was recorded, granted, we don't have film of the life of Jesus, and there can be some faulty memory that has been shared with us. But when we stick with the Gospels, I think they're pretty much, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, with John being the one who was the most scribe-like in writing down the life of Jesus. We never see Jesus refusing to shine. We see him healing others. We see him sharing his gift with all. But we also see him reminding those who he healed that they were partners in their healing, that there is nothing that can be done to you. It has to be done with your cooperation. So let's get out of the just okay space. Be the most cooperative being you can with the divine and welcome the flat-out fabulous space, because after all, just okay is plain old drudgery. It's not wanting to get out of bed or face the day. If you're feeling depressed or lost or lonely and confused, darn, you may just be living a just okay life. And that's not okay with me. I want the very best for you. And today I want to encourage you to get out of your own way, to get back into alignment with God, and to be flat out fabulous. I want you on fire to share your love and joy with others, which is a product of being in alignment with the divine. So, now we have to get busy figuring out how are we going to be this fabulous being 24 hours of the day. Well, the first thing you need to remember is it's probably not going to happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're going to have times when you're just like, that's okay. Don't immediately get into shame or blame. Remember all the times that you were shining your brightest and rejoice about them. But what are the tools that we have available to use that can help us get into this place more often than we're out of it? Well, first, we have our thoughts. However, we can't just let our thoughts rule us. We've got to be consciously aware of what we're thinking and consciously change our thinking. Remember, if you have been a chronic abuser of the idea that you really are not powerful and you can't control what you're thinking, you are not going to be successful at changing that behavior pattern overnight. So please don't go in saying, oh, all I have to do is snap my fingers and I'm suddenly going to be on it 24 hours a day. That's just setting yourself up for failure. Let's be realists instead of hopefulness where we just give up because it was too hard. It takes 21 days to change a habit. You will feel better right from the beginning, but it's not going to be a conscious habit for you immediately. It's going to take 21 days. So give yourself 30 days to before you get in any kind of evaluation state. Now, let's say you need help with this. You just feel like, man, this sounds overwhelming. Well, I have a 28-day program that I created, which is 21 days and another whole week of support. It is in my community on Patreon, and you can access that by going to my website, MarciaMartinTheHeartHealer.com, spelled MARCIA. You go into the community, and that 28-day program is there. This is a donation community or a subscribed community, but it is completely affordable, and it is brilliant success. It is 28 days, and then you can repeat it over and over and over again if you feel that you didn't get enough the first time. But as always, you can do this on your own. My website also has my blog, and all of these shows are on YouTube, so you can listen to this over and over and over again if you're receiving your support that way. However, I love giving myself as much support as I can possibly find. So in addition to the 28-day supportive program, I want you to be very, very proactive on your own behalf. Now, in the 28-day program, you're going to get affirmations that I've already written for you. But let's say you're on your own. You decide, nope, I don't need any support. Well, good for you. You're still going to need to remind yourself. So I want you to write an affirmation for yourself daily. I am magnificent. I am a powerful creator. I am fabulous. Whatever feels good to you, put it on an index card and carry a new one with you every single day. And then set an alarm on your phone so that you are reminded to read that card out loud if possible to yourself throughout the day. If you're in public, go back to your car if you've driven. Go off to a quiet place, into the bathroom, or just duck somewhere by yourself. It is so important to read it out loud if at all possible, because it causes you to hear with more of your senses. When you're saying it to yourself, you hear it with only one sense. When it's out loud, you've had to shape the words with your mouth and use your vocal cords. Then your external ears have had to hear what you're saying, and your eyes are busy reading the card. Well, that would be true even if you're saying it to yourself. So you've got your vocal cords engaged, you've got your lips and your mouth moving, you have your ears having to hear it, and the brain getting activated because it has to process this information that you're reading. But anytime we can get more of ourselves involved in the activity, it's always going to be more memorable. Nothing is ever going to be done for you. If you are wanting yourself to really change, really begin living that fabulous life, you're going to have to put the effort in. You can listen to the teaching that I do every Sunday and that others do, that YouTube is filled with powerful, wonderful content. But you must put it into practice. Now, of course, the easiest way to do that is either to buy a course, to invest in coaching, to take some of the classes that I offer or other people offer, because you have someone that is outside yourself that is helping you see where you have holes, where you may not be stepping into all that you are, and they are helping you with the tools and with the guidance to be that. So change is going to happen more quickly when you are in a coaching situation, whether it's group or singular. But it's not impossible for you to do it on your own. You just have to be really, really good about holding yourself accountable. You are not the small little being hiding in the dark. That is not you. One of the gifts that I have brought to share is being able to see who you are as your authentic self. And I guarantee you that every single person who has allowed me to look at them is not only filled with love at their center as their authentic being, but they have also brought a gift, and it is magnificent. So, you are loving and you are magnificent. I have yet to meet a person who is not. I have met people who are not able to see their own magnificence and who do not feel that they are loving. But that doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means that they're not in touch with it. But I guarantee you, from what I know of God, of my own interactions, of my own studying and conversations with my guides, there is not one being who is without the Christ energy of creation, who is not filled with unconditional love, and who is not magnificent. It really, because you at your essence are the divine. So it would be impossible for that not to be part of you. So let's create an affirmation that you can use every day, just something to get you started. I am a magnificent creator. Within me lies greatness. I am a powerful being of love, and it's safe for me to shine. I cannot tell you how often people come to work with me, and the first thing they say is, I'm afraid. I never feel safe. I never feel completely loved. I want you to know that there is absolutely nothing that you could do or say that would take away God's love for you. You may not feel it. You may choose to move away from it, out of alignment with it, close it off as far as you can, but it doesn't, you are not powerful enough to cut that connection off completely. It will remain, whether you are aware of it or if you are even actively rebelling against it, it will remain, because the truth of the matter is you are not as powerful as the divine. You are simply a piece of the divine. And the divine have decreed that each being will come with a piece of them intact in order to prosper or merely just to stay in this physical existence. You must be connected with the divine. Your free will gets to decide how much of the divine you want to let in. But you're not powerful enough to cut that connection off. So let's go over that affirmation one more time. And those of you who are listening, I want you to repeat it. If you can do so without a problem, please repeat it out loud. I want to start the train leaving the station of just okay so that you can arrive at the station of fabulous. So beginning now, I am a magnificent creator. Within me lies greatness. I am a powerful being of love. And it's safe for me to shine. Now, one more thing about affirmations before we move on. Make sure that when you are saying your affirmation, you are claiming it as your truth. So I could say, I'm a magnificent creator. Within me lies greatness. I am a powerful being of love, and it's safe for me to shine. And I probably would not be moving my needle toward from okay, just okay to flat out fabulous very far if I'm able to move the needle at all. I want you to get excited. Remember what Mother God shared with us. Thoughts are great. Thoughts are the beginning of the creation because everything is energy. It needs to first form into thought before it can become anything. But if you wanted to go from formless thought to physical product, you're going to have to do some heavy lifting. And the way you do the heavy lifting is to attach emotion to your statement. Get involved, get excited, get delighted about all that you already are. If you can't get delighted, if you're not really feeling it, then do something to help yourself get in that place. Let's take children as the example. They are absolutely the closest being to God in the world. They have not forgotten who they are. It begins to fade as we go along, but in the very beginning of a child's life, that under 5 place, they remember that life is just supposed to be lived in a state of joy. They yell at the top of their lungs. They are exuberant. They are delighted to have people play with them and join with them and share with them. And they feel that there is plenty for all, unless they've been taught differently. So before you state an affirmation, let your inner child feel exuberant and allow the inner child to do that for you. Say that affirmation for you, to get excited, to get into that place of, whoa, life is amazing. Say your affirmation from the place of life is amazing and not from the place of life is drudgery and I really just can't wait to say goodbye to another day. Get emotionally attached to what you're saying and get excited so that you have the opportunity to attract more of what you want. Now, once you've gotten used to operating with an educated mind, and an educated mind is one that's paying attention and isn't allowing stupid stuff to come in there and take root. So an educated mind would not allow me to say, wow, Marcia, you're really stupid, and allow that to stay or to take root or to be something that I consider to be true. That is not a truth and not something that I want to entertain. But an educated mind will speak only the truth, and the truth for every being is I am safe and loved. It recognizes that fear is a product of the ego and not the divine. So when you are starting to look at a situation and become anxious or fearful, take a step back and say, okay, what is true in this situation and what am I making up? How did I step out of alignment and what do I need to do to get back into my place of connectivity? The educated mind also realizes that thoughts are self-generated. They are not imposed upon you. There is no thought-generating machine that is coming from outside of you and saying, you will now think this, you will now think this. I used to believe that. I used to believe that I had no control over my thoughts, that I was not responsible for what I was thinking or creating. And it was not a very pleasant existence. Now, we have a caller, so let's find out how we can help someone become fabulous. Calling from 216, how can I help you become fabulous today?
Hello, thank you for taking my call. My name is Patricia. I'd like to, I'm fabulous, but I can always use more fabulosity.
Yes, you are. I'm so glad you said that.
Yes. I'd like to know get some clarity. I'm considering, I've had a health matter that presented itself to me fall 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I don't want to necessarily put my business out there or give it any power. It is of
Thank
some serious...
you for that. Let's just hold on just a second. We really need to, you need to understand how magnificent you are just for being able to do that. I want you to just really drink that in. I am so fabulous that I have given myself permission to look at myself as fully healed instead of broken. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. It can only end in a positive outcome for you. So right there, you are doing amazingly well. So how can we help you become even more fabulous?
And it took me a long time to get to that mindset. But I'm considering, and should I first consider doing a Himalayan sea salt, either with spring water or distilled water, and do a fast for a period of time and begin that, say, this week or next week? Also, will be relocating across the country. Probably now I'm looking at, because it's been pushed back. And that has bugged me, but I'm understanding that there probably has to be resources and situations to come forth to help me. But anyway, I'm probably looking at December of this year, because I definitely want to be moved in before winter season. I need to know... I will be starting my freelance writing business, which will encompass copywriting, content writing. I'm learning it through a book I've bought. I'm looking on YouTube at the various copywriters there and getting tips and strategies, and just practicing doing it with mailers and emails and so on and so forth.
Good for you.
Should I... Now, and I'm probably will get that into gear with the first product. I'm hoping in the next 8 weeks or so. But in the meantime, I'm working of this bridge job that I finally got, and I'm thankful for, Barnes and Noble, and just working in the back and, probably working in the different areas. It's going to last a month. Will it extend past August? And if it does, should I just hold on to it because I've been interviewing for so long, and then possibly consider transferring that to another state I'm moving to? Thank you.
Well, okay, let's take a look at that because you got a couple of things going on. And I want to share with you something that the angels have shared with me recently that has been so much fun. Because the Lionsgate portal opens up so much potential for transformation, it can feel a little bit overwhelming. And I was finding myself kind of getting stuck in situations, getting a little resistance, and just kind of like getting a little sticky in certain places. So I went to the angels for help, and they gave me this incredibly fun visualization. And I want to share it with you because you got some stuff there that we just want to ship off. So whenever anybody comes in or any situation presents itself and I'm like, I have started putting it. First, I wrap it in a blanket of pink and gold light, so it's only unconditional love, and I know that I haven't attached any negativity to it. I've got it completely surrounded in this blanket of pink and gold light, and then I put it on an escalator up to heaven. And I'm like, there you go. I can't figure this out with the information that I have available to me right now, but I know if I give it to the divine, it will come back to me with the highest good for all. So let's take Barnes and Noble, your position right now. You don't have enough information right now to make that judgment. Wrap it in a blanket of pink and gold light. Right now it's serving a beautiful purpose in your life. Put it on the escalator and allow it to become whatever is for your highest good. You will know because you'll feel so peaceful whether you need to continue on in this position and then transfer the job with you. If it's feeling peaceful, if you're feeling calm, if it's just, this would give me that little bit of safety and security while I'm settling in, while I'm getting my copywriting business going, to have this opportunity that's presented itself at Barnes & Noble. Or you'll feel like, oh my gosh, I can't keep up. I've got so much copywriting work, or I've got so much to do, and this job is not helping. It's just making me stressful. Let it go. You put it on the escalator, whoop, up it goes. You've given it to the divine. Let it come back to you as the highest good for all concerned. So you don't have to think about it again except to say, wow, thank you, angels, for working this out for me. Now, let's do the same thing with the Himalayan salt fast. If you're working, we're in a period of intense heat. August generally is the warmest month for most of us. And a salt fast, to me, sounds like something that would remove a lot of water from your body. So my logical mind says that may not be the most honoring thing that you could do for your physical body because it may cause dehydration and it may not allow you to operate at your full physical capacity. That may be something that is better done at a cooler period during the year, maybe after you're settled in December or something like that. However, I never let things sit with my logical brain. I like to run it through my heart, the truth meter. So when I drop down in my heart and I ask myself, is this good for Patricia? Again, I'm like, I just don't know. I just don't feel that this is the correct, you don't have enough information to make an accurate decision. So I want to put that on the escalator to God too. Just wrap the fast in a blanket of pink and gold light. Do nothing right now. Send it off on its escalator. Give it to the angels, to the energetic realm, to the divine, and ask that they give you the confirmation that you need, that it return to you as the highest good for all concerned. And absolutely, I have never had a time when I have said, okay, I need additional support on this issue, that they just refuse to respond. There have been times when I haven't heard and I've had to say, okay, it looks like I need to get a little more open about receiving this answer. So you can absolutely trust, even before you thought, gee, I need to call and ask Marcia what her ideas about this are, that answer was already on its way back to you. So just take a moment to take a deep cleansing breath. Allow yourself to access that place of calm knowing. And just invite the angels into that space with the information that you require. You've already let go of the situation by sending it on the escalator. The second part of that is, angels, I invite you into my heart. I invite you to bring the information and the clarity that I need so that I can move forward with confidence. And now continue doing what you're doing until you receive that confirmation. When we try to go off, oh, maybe I should try this. Oh, what about, we just add confusion. I know, certainly I've been guilty of that. I've learned just to stay on the path that I'm already on until they give me confirmation one way or the other. Now you have one other thing that needs to be on that escalator, hopping up away from your energy of worry and into the arms of the divine where it can find a solution, and that is when you should move. So put the timing of the move in a beautiful box, wrap it up in a blanket of pink and gold light, and put it on the escalator, and it's out of your hands. You no longer need to worry about it. You have given it to the divine to solve for you, and they are the solution experts. So we can only see an inch in front of us on a good day. They can see eternity. Give it to the divine, and then be open to receiving the answer that is for your highest good. All you have to do is stay in that beautiful place of knowing, of certainty and gratitude. We don't want to dig up the seed to make sure it's growing roots. We just say, oh, I'm so grateful that I can ship this off to the divine and that the angels are going to bring me my answer, and I am absolutely certain that it will be for my highest good, because that's the only thing that God is able to deliver to me. Do not play any kind of ego game. They have no ego. They're not going to send you back Patricia, if you're a good girl, you'll get this. It's only going to be loving. It is only going to be for your highest good. The only part that you have to do, your only part, is to stay out of the place of I hope so, and in the place of certainty and grounded in gratitude. I am absolutely certain my answer is on my way to me. I am so grateful that it is everything that is for my highest good. So no matter what comes, put it on the escalator. If a fear tries to pop up, wrap it in love, put it on the escalator, get it out of your energetic system. Stay in that beautiful place of gratitude and certainty by shipping off everything that is not serving you. How does that feel to you?
Well, I have to accept that.
Take that little bit of I'm not sure and ship it off. Let it go. That's not honoring you. Let it go. Unless it feels good to you, you got to let it go. So wrap it up in a beautiful box. Wrap it in unconditional love and just ship it off. We only want to hold on to that which feels honoring to our hearts. Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay, it might require that you do it again and again and again. You can do it as often as you need to. Anytime a little bit of insecurity pops up, ship it off. It is like drinking poison and hoping you're not going to have any side effects. Surround yourself with unconditional love. Wrap yourself in a blanket of pink and gold light. Give yourself a hug. Love yourself and just refuse service anytime they come knocking at your door with fear and uncertainty. Nope, I'm not home. You have to go on the escalator. Get really tough about saying no to the ego baloney. Look how much you've already accomplished. Look how far you've come. You are truly magnificent. So just stay the course, and I think you're amazing. All right, honey, we're out of time. I want to thank you so much for letting us have an opportunity to explore this when we have real examples. It's just so much better and easier for all of us to grasp. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, and make sure you stay in touch. Send me an email and let me know how you're doing. It's Marcia at marciamartinthehearthealer.com, and go to my website. Sign up for the newsletter so that you can receive encouragement throughout the week. No reason to do this on your own, but wow, you are just amazing for all that you have accomplished.
All right, so thank you.
Thank you. And everyone, I want to thank you all so much, and I want to remind you that you are absolutely fabulous. And if you need help or desire assistance in any way, please go to my website. The first three people to respond to the opportunity will have an opportunity to speak with me one-on-one for 30 minutes. It will be your Angel Breakthrough session. That's on the under the coaching tab. So until next Sunday, I'm sending you all my love.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests, and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.